In a world obsessed with financial status and material wealth, people have lost sight of what being truly rich means. Want to know how I beat the system, design my dream lifestyle and live a rich life without being wealthy? Here's the thing. Modern day society is blinded by this shiny veneer of luxury cars, designer clothes and expensive watches. Social media has created a filter that distorts reality, misleads one's expectations, and ultimately creates a path littered with delusion and disappointment. But it doesn't have to be this way. The position many people find themselves in is not inevitable, however, worryingly, highly probable. You see, the system we are born into is designed to keep you tethered, following the breadcrumb trail laid out by profit-hungry corporations, attention-stealing digital platforms and a corrupt government hell-bent on squeezing every last penny out of you before tossing you back whatever scraps they're prepared to leave you to survive on. The question is, do you surrender and continue to follow the orchestrated path set out by corporatizations and political governance? Or will you awaken and recognise that the greatest power lies in refusing to play their corrupt game? Back in 2005, I discovered the paradox after years of being trapped in the corporate rat race, chasing promotion and bonuses while watching any enjoyment I had in life slip away in my pursuit of supposed success and financial wealth. By societal standards, I was a huge success. And yet, in the process, the journey had destroyed my soul and extracted any enjoyment I once had for my career. I contemplated and wondered, what was it all for? Why was I so unhappy, unfulfilled and lacking motivation? Monday morning come around once again, and I looked around the boardroom and studied my peers, the very people whose footsteps I was trying to emulate. I saw vast wealth, but what I didn't see was happiness, fulfilment or passion. At that exact moment, I experienced a realization, an epiphany if you like, and I asked myself a profound question that would change the trajectory of my corporate career and ultimately my life. I already knew the answer. At that exact moment, I stopped playing the game and my life would never be the same again. The following day, I resigned, sold everything I owned and embarked on a life-changing journey. That was 20 years ago. Today, I live a life that many would consider rich, despite not having the bank account of a tech billionaire, investment banker, or dare I say, my old corporate colleagues back in the city. But my life is not by accident, nor is it something that I fell into without consideration. No, sir. The life I live is 100% categorically by design. I designed a lifestyle that afforded me a choice to do what I want, when I want, and I answer to no one. Absolutely no f***ing chance. In my 46 years on this planet, my journey has taught me that living a genuinely rich life isn't necessarily measured in monetary terms, but more so in the freedom your lifestyle bestows upon you. I believe we have been lied to from an early age and missold the ideology of what success actually is. The unspoken assumption is that accumulating financial wealth should be life's primary objective. Many wealthy people are among the poorest souls you'll ever meet. Many of the people I met working in the city obviously didn't get the memo, because after all these decades of selling their souls to the devil while slaving away in the corporate rat race, all they were left with was money. Now let me address the elephant in the room before continuing. I'm not going to spew some bollocks about money doesn't make you happy like some leftist snowflake hippie, because I can tell you from experience that having money eradicates 90% of the problems that not having money presents. But it doesn't paint the whole picture, which is what we're going to explore in this video. I've met some very wealthy people who believe they can't afford to take a random day off of work to enjoy spending time with friends and family for fear of losing out on a deal. I know hugely successful entrepreneurs and business owners who haven't taken a holiday with their family in years, ultimately missing out on some of the most cherished times a parent can have watching their children grow up. Then you have people who sacrifice their health and relationships in their pursuit of wealth and supposed success. The reality is they might have financial wealth, but they lack true richness in life. Now, I reiterate that wealth undoubtedly has its benefits and endless advantages and shouldn't be sacrificed. But the question is, at what cost? Money has become an invisible ball and chain for so many who set out with good intentions, striving to build and maintain a lifestyle that requires an ever-increasing income stream, ultimately creating a systematic merry-go-round that they can't get off. Even worse are the people who sold their souls to the devil and entered into employment and the comfort of a guaranteed monthly salary, whilst building themselves the proverbial hamster wheel which they unconsciously pound each and every day. No questions asked. Ultimately failing to notice that hamster wheels are housed in cages. It might seem like an attractive proposition at the time, but let's not forget that a cage is a cage regardless of its appearance. Is that true wealth, or is that poverty in disguise? Being truly rich begins with radical redefinition of what constitutes a good life. Consider these elements of authentic richness that have nothing to do with your bank balance. The most precious, non-renewable resource isn't oil or diamonds, it's time. We have a limited, unknown quantity, yet most people trade their time wholesale for money, often at terrible exchange rates. Rich people, truly rich people, maintain sovereignty over their time. They decide when they work, for how long, and on what projects. They don't need permission to attend their child's school sports day or take a random day off to spend with their loved ones. They don't waste hours in mind-numbing commutes or pointless meetings scheduled by jobsworths. When I left my corporate career, I didn't just take a pay cut. I cut off all means of financial support. But I reclaimed approximately 2,500 hours of my life annually. What's the monetary value of 2,500 hours of freedom per year? It's priceless. Location independence is the holy grail of what being rich truly entails. The good news is that building a location-independent business today is easier than ever. The conventional employment model is outdated and chains you to a specific geographic location, typically an expensive urban centre where housing costs consume most of your income. True richness means having the freedom to live wherever you choose. When your income isn't tied to your location, you gain access to geographic independence, earning money in strong economies whilst living in places with lower living costs. This single shift alone can significantly increase your income without you actually having to earn a penny more. Suddenly you've doubled, tripled, or quadrupled your wealth without chasing the money. This is why I'm so passionate about helping people explore the vast benefits of working remotely and building a location-independent business. You can go from being an average earner and living an average life to being rich, dare I say, wealthy, and living a life where the last thing on your mind is to take a holiday or vacation because, well, why would you want to escape such an amazing life? Now, I live and travel between countries such as Thailand, Portugal, Singapore and London. I work when I choose, pick the clients I work with, and get to spend time with people I genuinely want to spend time with. Enjoying autonomy and freedom allows me to enjoy my hobbies and work on new business ventures whilst exploring new places. These days, my office ranges from beachfront condos and villas to mountain lodges and anywhere I can open my laptop. Meanwhile, Many of my former colleagues remain tethered to their office desks, dreaming of their next holiday or vacation. The quality of your life is often a reflection of the quality of your relationships, so I advise you to reevaluate your friend circle when designing your ideal lifestyle. Show me someone's 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. Truly rich lives are built on deep, meaningful connections with others. Corporate culture often forces us to maintain superficial relationships with colleagues we have nothing in common with, and yet we often find ourselves forced to attend mind-numbingly painful after-work drinks with colleagues we wouldn't choose to socialise with, while neglecting the relationships with the people we actually want to spend time with. Breaking free from traditional employment and social structure allows you to curate and design your ideal social environment. You can choose who you work with, who you collaborate with, and who you spend your valuable time with. My life become immeasurably richer when I become more selective about who I spend my time with, inevitably leading to a smaller circle. Now, this might mean cutting off toxic family members, friends with whom you no longer share the same vision and values, or those who take from a relationship but fail to bring anything to the table themselves. Be mindful of who you spend your time with. Ensure those people are congruent, share your vision, and are people you can genuinely rely on. You see, the system is designed to keep you tethered to a life of quiet desperation, chasing promotions and accumulating possessions whilst getting yourself further and further into debt and following society's predefined path to success. The corporate world I left behind was filled with people who had financial wealth but were spiritually and emotionally bankrupt, trapped in cages of their own making. True richness, as I've discovered, has little to do with the size of your bank account and everything to do with the freedom that your lifestyle affords you. But my life is my life alone. What works for me might not work for you, nor might it be a life that you aspire to. As the saying goes, one man's dream is another man's nightmare. However, I perceive everyone's nightmare is failing to see what is happening to us until it's too late. You owe it to not only to yourself, but also to your children and loved ones. If I can offer one piece of advice, it would be to raise your head above the parapet and take a long, hard look at what's happening around you. Society has programmed us to follow a predetermined path that benefits corporations and governments far more than it benefits us. We chase financial wealth at the expense of what truly matters: our time, freedom, health and relationships. The greatest wealth you can possess isn't measured in currency, but in choice. It's the ability to wake up each morning and decide how you spend your day without asking permission. It's having the freedom to live wherever brings you joy. It's surrounding yourself with people who lift you up rather than drain you. I'm not suggesting you abandon all material pursuits. Money, after all, eliminates genuine problems and creates opportunities. But the relentless pursuit of more at the expense of everything else is a fool's errand. The most powerful act of rebellion in today's world is to design your own definition of success, to opt out of the rat race, and to create a life of genuine independence. Stop measuring your worth by your salary, job title, or possessions, and instead value the richness of your experiences and relationships. I can tell you without hesitation that true wealth lies in freedom. Not just financial freedom, but freedom of time, location, and association. The choice is yours. Continue on the treadmill somebody else has designed for you, or step off and create your own path. Build a life so fulfilling you never want to escape from it. Cultivate relationships so enriching that they become your greatest asset. The system is counting on your compliance. Yet, your liberation begins with the courage to define richness on your own terms. My question is, What will you do to design your freedom lifestyle?